My dear Mr. Latimer, prepare to greet our clientele. Our meeting is imminent. Having just rung the dinner bell, it won't be a novelty. We've mostly seen them all before. Prepare for the usual. You should be aware of what's in store. We've served them on the Baltic and the Oceanic, Olympic and Majestic. And today's the same. There's nothing changed. Mr. Astor takes his toast dry. Mrs. Strauss likes the grouse with the sauce on the side. And the Wideners love kidney pie. Bring it hot. If it's not, they'll be fit to be tied. They're accustomed to the best of all that money buys. The world of free enterprise has given this privilege to the rich. When they're idle, they're entitled to the luxury which we provide. That's forever the source of our pride, which is why we're always there with our special form of care. For every hungry millionaire, by now they've all arrived.
We're sailing aboard the greatest ship that ever sailed the seas. The hull and the keel are perviously stronger by degrees.
Magnificent crystal chandeliers protecting all the floor.
The ceiling is Jacobean art and for the world of course. We're not the shows, we're not the walls, we're not the songs. If it would be fought in a face, there's wondering on the age this is. One fellow's invented see-through film, he calls it cellophane. Another has built a parachute for jumping out of an airplane. Remarkable things go endless fame from out the human brain. Indeed, it's wondering on the age this is.
Keep the captain's table pristine. Here we seat the elite whom we happily serve. Here they dine on fine French cuisine. It's the creme de la creme's exclusive preserve. It's the pleasure of the leisure class's greatest wits to be where the captain sits while taking their dinner on the sea. Giving deference to their preference is our chief art. We play our part in a perfectly working machine. You should ever be aware this is a privilege, great and rare, a special burden that we bear in our respective lives.
Remarkable U.S. steel is split in shares of 5 to 4. Monopoly makes the industry for better than before.
And afterwards off to Monaco to frolic in the sand.
Remarkable toys, remarkable world. So much surprise and amaze. And what a remarkable time, what a remarkable world, what a remarkable land. The keel and pervious, magnificent crystal chandeliers, our fellows invented see-through film, and what a remarkable age this is.
Seating for Thursday, April 11th will now be served in the first-class dining saloon.
Never forget my last tour in India during the Tira campaign of '97 to reopen the Khyber Pass when, out of nowhere, came 6,000 crazed, godless savages who attacked without
EJ, have you ever had so many distinguished Americans in your charge at one time? You know most of them, I'm sure. And of course, everyone knows the Major.
Of course. Welcome aboard. Mr. Guggenheim, you're becoming quite a regular on the Atlantic run.
Yes, in point of fact, this is my 34th crossing.
EJ, I'm sure we are all quite anxious to know yesterday's mileage.
484, Mr. Ismay.
Are you pleased with that?
Yes, I am, sir. It's much better than I expected for the first day.
Then I'm sure we'll do even better today.
Begging your pardon, Captain, Mr. Lightoller has requested his course.
Increase speed, Mr. Murdoch, to 21 knots. And tell Mr. Lightoller to set course at west-northwest 292 degrees.
That's the northern track, sir.
I'm well aware of that, Mr. Murdoch. It will save us both coal and time. At least 3 hours.
3 hours? Oh, well done, EJ.
The dinner seating for Friday, April 12th will now be served in the first-class dining saloon.
I don't remember I told you about my forced march on the Sudan during the winter of '85 to relieve the attack on Chinese Gordon by the Mondi, when, out of nowhere, came 1,200 of these crazed, godless savages who came down with their spears
EJ?
and they...
I was wondering yesterday's mileage.
519, Mr. Ismay.
Much better.
Sorry to disturb your meal, Captain.
Who the devil are you?
Harold Bride, sir, wireless operator with the Marconi International...
What is it, Mr. Bride?
It's a message, sir, from the Rappahannock 4 days out of Halifax. She reports an iceberg.
Thank you, Mr. Bride. I can read.
Right. I mean, aye, sir, Captain.
The dinner seating for Saturday, April 13th will now be served in the first-class dining saloon.
But the proudest moment of my entire career came in '02, under the command of Kitchener at Johannesburg, when untold thousands of crazed, godless savages attacked without warning.
Mrs. Astor, I hear this is your first trip to Europe.
But not her last, Mrs. Widener. Certainly not her last.
And how did you find Paris, Mrs. Astor? Oh, luckily I didn't have to. John knew right where it was.
Excuse me, Captain.
Yes, Mr. Lightoller?
Have you any instructions, sir, concerning our present speed?
Maintain 21 knots, Mr. Lightoller.
21 knots? Aye, sir.
21 knots! Come, EJ. I promise these fine gentlemen will arrive in New York by Tuesday nightfall. At this rate, we'll never make it.
I'm afraid it's too soon for either of us to say, Mr. Ismay. I trust you'll excuse me. Please, continue with your meal.
Oh, must you leave us, Captain?
Unfortunately, Mrs. Thayer, my duties on the bridge, though not nearly as pleasant as sitting here with you attractive ladies, require my attention. Please, excuse me.
Remarkable man, our Captain Smith.
Remarkable man, our Captain Smith. Remarkable man, our Captain Smith. Remarkable man, our Captain Smith. Remarkable man, our Captain Smith. Remarkable man, remarkable so much surprise and amaze. And what a remarkable time, what a remarkable world, what a remarkable age.
Sweets and after-dinner liqueurs will now be served in the Café Parisien.